Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today I'm going to be showing you my updated ride or die under eye routine to cover up my dark circles. Now I am over 40, I'm actually 41 now, so little things happen the older your skin gets, and I'm sure if you are 60, 70, 80, you are shouting at me saying you've no idea. But things start to happen, I would say, just after the age of 30, maybe 35, to your skin, which makes it slightly more challenging, shall we say, to cover up those dark circles, because the skin may be slightly looser, it's a little bit more crepey, you may have more fine lines or wrinkles. So both the products that you use and also the way that you apply those products become even more important. So if I was wearing a full coverage foundation and I wanted my skin to look completely flawless, I may go in with a color corrector. If I wasn't wanting to look 100% flawless, maybe I was wearing a foundation or a tinted moisturizer that had less coverage to it. I wanted the skin to poke through a little bit. I didn't want to look absolute perfection, which is a more natural way to look. I would probably leave out the color corrector. Now, my favorite color corrector at the moment is the Naked Skin Urban Decay in the shade Peach. Not sure if this is actually still available. If it is, I will link it in the description box. If you're anything like me, you have one under eye circle that is worse than the other. This one over here is my worst one, and then this one, not so much. So sometimes I will just correct one side to make things look a little bit more even. So if any bluey tingy is going to show through, it's equal on both sides and I don't look like somebody's just given me a punch. So I'm just going to apply a little bit and a very, very little bit. Now I have done a full video on the best colour correctors and also how to apply them, and I will link those videos up there for you, but I am literally just applying the colour corrector over the darkness. I'm not going all the way under the eye, and I'm really concentrating on the darkest area. So there we go. It's not fully gone, but remember we are applying a concealer over the top, so that will help disguise those under eye circles even more. This will just neutralize the bluey, purpley tinge. So do I need it on both sides? Yes, I think I do today. So I'm just gonna go in and apply a little bit to the other side as well. Now this, I will look at this on a daily basis. I won't just go in and do both sides straight away as a matter of course. Look in the mirror, see what your face is trying to tell you to do. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But you know, sometimes your dark circles may seem more prominent on certain days and not so prominent on other days. So if you just don't feel like they need covering up, then don't. So that's those covered over. Now, obviously, I only have the pigment from the colour corrector over the darker areas. So if I just zoom you in a little bit, you can actually see where that product has sat, and that I do still have a little bit of discoloration around here and a little bit of discoloration around here. It's not really perfect yet, so I wouldn't stop just at this stage, although I guess you could if you didn't feel it necessary to go in with a concealer. So the concealer that is my new ride or die product, I have to thank Charlotte Holdcroft for, because if you haven't seen Charlotte Holdcroft's channel before, by the way, I will link it in the description box. She is such a kind, genuine, funny person, very enjoyable to watch, and she's very good at what she does. She talks about this brand quite a lot on her channel. I hadn't tried anything, but because she talks about it so often and she raves about it, I mean, she really, really highly recommends this brand, I just thought I'd give it a go, and it is the best thing I have ever done. This is my new ride or die concealer for underneath my eyes, and it's never steered me wrong over the past 3 weeks that I've been using it. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This is from McGRATH Labs, and it is, what is it actually called? Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. I've gone for the shade L4. It's slightly too dark for me. This is for light skin tones with a peachy undertone. I've now gone and bought one, it's not actually arrived yet, in L2, which is for lightest skin tones with a peach undertone. So, as well as it being a brilliant concealer, because of the peach undertones in this, it will also help disguise those bluey, purpley under eye circles as well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful concealer. So I hardly apply any of this, and that is the trick. So I'm gonna go in to this side first, apply the tiniest amount. I'm gonna go in with a concealer brush first of all, and just pop that where I want it. So again, this is the shade L4, which still works for me, but I just wanted to experiment with a paler shade as well, so I've got the shade L2 on its way. So once I've placed that where I want it, look how amazing that is. I'm just gonna put the tiniest little bit more there and there, and then go in with a damp blending sponge. Now this is a really important part because I want to make sure it's completely blended and seamless. And although I do enjoy applying concealer with a concealer brush, I don't think you can skip this step if you want seriously smooth application. It's just fabulous. Look at that. That's just amazing. Now I'm going to apply the tiniest bit more. I prefer to build this up rather than apply lots in one go, because I'm just going to bring it slightly further down. I've hardly applied any there whatsoever. And I'm just going to blend that in using my damp blending sponge. Just bring it slightly further down. So amazing. So I'm going to do the same on the other side, and I'll be right back to show you my third step. The best tip I can give you for choosing the correct under eye concealer shade is either go for the exact same shade as you go for in your foundation, which matches your skin tone. That way it will be a seamless blend. It will look very, very natural, but it won't have any brightening capabilities under the eye. If you want those brightening capabilities, then you need to go half a shade to one shade lighter than your foundation shade. Now, I definitely would recommend that you don't go any lighter than one shade lighter than your foundation shade, because if you do, this can look really, really unnatural. It can look like you've been in the sun wearing glasses and taken your glasses off and you've got that white area around your eyes. Believe me, I have done this so many times, especially if I choose to use a concealer that is my winter concealer when I'm wearing summer makeup. It can just be disastrous. Wearing a concealer that's too light for you can also make your under eyes look a little grey and ashy, which is also a very unnatural look. So definitely don't go more than half to one shade lighter than your natural skin tone. The third step in my new Ride or Die under eye concealer routine is the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This, I know I'm blinding you all. Let me just open this up to show you. This is in the shade Light, so it's white. There are shades down from this, so if you have a deeper skin tone than me, there are shades that will match your skin tone perfectly. So to apply this, I'm going to take my damp blending sponge, I'm going to go into this powder, and I'm just going to rub a tiny weeny bit, there is the tiniest bit, on my damp blending sponge, and I'm going to tap that underneath the eye, concentrating on where my concealer creases throughout the day. Now, this concealer is less likely to crease because it's an amazing concealer, but it's just so smoothing, it's so blurring, it just does everything that you think it's going to do from the actual name of the product, blurring under eye powder. It sets everything in place. It blurs any fine lines and wrinkles, and it just keeps everything intact all day without allowing its crease. It's just amazing. If after applying the Pat McGrath Labs powder, your under eyes look slightly more crepey than they did before you applied the powder, don't worry too much. It just means you've applied slightly too much of the powder. Grab a little brush, just knock off any of the excess. All you need to do is just swipe once or twice underneath the eye. Don't do it more than that because you may disturb any product underneath. And then wait a few minutes. After around about 20 minutes, look in the mirror again. You'll find that everything looks absolutely superb. It's all back to normal. Normal service can resume. Now you are going to have to take my word for it because I'm not going to do a wear test on this. This stays like this all day. This does not move. This is just the most unbelievable product I feel like I've ever tried. And on my first day of trying it, I got so giddy by the end of the day when I actually clocked myself in the mirror that I just thought, oh, this product has been around for quite a long time. Why on earth did I not try it before? I don't know. I don't know is the answer. So I really hope you found this video helpful. There are 3 steps to my brand new routine, and these 3 steps, even if I do all 3 of them, and to be quite honest, the majority of the time I miss out the colour correction stage and just go straight into concealer. I just don't feel the need to look flawless all the time and hide 100% of my under eye circles. I just don't feel like it's necessary. So usually I jump straight into the concealer stage 2 phase. But this concealer routine usually takes me around about 5 minutes to complete in total, and that's including waiting in between for the concealer to dry before I apply the powder. So I can be getting on with other things whilst I'm waiting for that to actually happen. So the main products that I definitely recommend you try, and these are pricey products, but at the moment, and this won't be for long, but at the moment, Pat McGrath Labs has a sale on, so you get 25% off anything under £120 and 30% off anything over. So I just placed the biggest order. Last night, I was about half an hour on the Pat McGrath site thinking, oh, do I want to try that? And oh, yes, I'll try that. My credit card's crying this morning, but I will be very happy when those products arrive. So these are the 2 products that I definitely recommend. So it's the, I always forget the name, Sublime Perfection Concealer. Again, this is the shade L4, which matches my natural skin tone more. And I've also got the shade L2 for any time I want that sort of brightening capability underneath the eye. This has actually managed to brighten my under eyes a little bit as well. So if you are my shade twin, this may be the only one that you need. And also the Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder is a definite must. If you feel the need to set your under eyes in place, this is the powder that I would use. I have never ever had an issue with this powder. So that's my new ride or die under eye concealer routine. I swear by it. It is amazing. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape or form, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button. Also, come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack, hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. If you do press that notification bell, you need to make sure that your notifications in your YouTube settings are turned on. I know a lot of people all of a sudden aren't getting notified that I've got a new upload, so please make sure you have that ticked. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.